Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of Meet the Fam. I am so excited to be here with you today. I'm just so super excited about this week. We've been just gearing up for a couple of huge things upcoming here in the world of Ecam. So in case you have missed it, we are releasing version 3.10 of Ecam Live, which includes some just awesome features. We are dropping that tomorrow, Thursday. So if you haven't seen that yet, we will be live right here on YouTube at actually same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. We will be talking all about version 3.10 and all the amazing features. We're also celebrating 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube. We're just blown away by the amount of support and growth that we've seen over the last couple of years. So hopefully you'll come and celebrate with us, learn about the newest version of the app, ask all your questions, win some prizes. We have lots of prizes, the opportunity to win some fun prizes tomorrow. So that will be right here, YouTube, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. We hope that we will see you there. And then if you're in San Diego, you've heard us talking endlessly about this. We will be at the Social Media Marketing World. We're doing our own live streaming studio day and a meetup right before the event kicks off, coming at you from the San Diego Wine and Culinary Center. So hope that we will see some of the local folks and folks who are going in for that conference there. Looking forward to meeting each and every one of you. Really just looking forward to being able to connect and show you what you can do with a studio setup when you're on location. We'll be live streaming a lot of cool extra content. ENN will be live from San Diego next week. So just a lot of really exciting things. But we're here this show to talk through some really amazing different kinds of use cases that members from across the world are using Ecam Live for. And I saw Nick post some just like incredibly cool video clips into the Ecam Live community, talking all about a bus that he had built and had spec'd out completely for live streaming, gaming. It was just like such a cool space. So if you haven't seen that, there are links here in the description. But really excited to be here today with Nick. Thank you so much for making the time for me.
You're welcome.
Oh, it's so much
Thanks for inviting
fun.
me.
The show is so much fun to be able to actually talk with Ecam Live members. I feel like I just need like a regular call to just like hang out with people digitally.
Just talk about people, talk about Ecam.
Yeah.
In the same crew, everyone knows what's happening. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you drop little like video clips and photos into the community, because I feel like as I'm scrolling through, I love always seeing kind of the different case studies and like the different things that people are using Ecam Live for. So I'm always just blown away when someone drops in something really cool. So yay, I'm so excited that you're here. Before we jump too far into it, I would love for you to give just kind of a brief bio on who you are, what you're doing, and how long you've been using Ecam Live for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm the founder of Tubers Academy. I literally live in this hoodie.
I like that with my Ecam shirts. They're like all the same. Yeah.
Just live in them.
Exactly.
So I founded Tubers Academy almost exactly 5 years ago.
Awesome.
In Exeter in England. And it's essentially studios for young people, 7 to 17-year-olds who want to learn how to make YouTube videos, essentially is how it started. It's grown a lot more than that, but that was the basis in which we built the company. And we started giving young people training, support, mentorship, and access to cameras, lights, microphones. And that just slowly over the 5 years has just expanded and expanded. We included some esports, so gaming PCs, and drawing tablets. We got a big editing suite, so they all have access to Final Cut Pro. And then we just started building services, adding them on. So we started doing things like birthday parties, holiday clubs. And then 2 years later, we opened a second premises, about another 2,500 square feet of studio space, and added to a service, which kind of leads on to the bus in a minute. We added a service called AP, Alternative Provision. So working with children with special needs. We were getting inundated with kids.
I'm sure.
So a lot of autistic children, a lot of children with special needs who are drawn to the technology and making video and want to YouTube, but have no access to any of the equipment. So we started Alternative Provision service in the daytime across 2 sites. Got a little bit distracted, opened a restaurant on the first floor, a gaming restaurant, just for a laugh.
Who doesn't need a gaming restaurant? It sounds incredible.
So we now run an American diner full of Xboxes and virtual reality at the same time. Yeah, and that's what we've been doing for 5 years. And I just decided I need to take this on the road and bought during lockdown, just as lockdown was easing, bought this bus and decided to kit it out and take it on the road.
You're living my dream. I feel like there were definitely a number of times throughout especially the beginning of the pandemic, where I was like, we could buy an RV and we could just be on the go. Like, there's nothing stopping us right now. Well, none of the things that normally get in the way of that, like having to be physically in a job or the kids having to be physically in the school building. Yeah, absolutely. I love that you saw a big growth when it came to students with disabilities and students who didn't have accessibility. I think that, especially as you think about technology, that's so important, because a lot of the gear and thinking through like how to build out spaces like that is what gets expensive and difficult really quickly. So, I mean, certainly there's, just basic line like technology accessibility and internet accessibility, which sadly is still an issue for a number of people across the world. But certainly as you're thinking about like all of these things, right? Like the microphones and the lights and the cameras and capture cards able to connect in different systems and devices.
So expensive.
Gets expensive really fast. So how did you kind of think through planning for these different spaces, and kind of what were the most important needs that came up as you were thinking through like what gear you would need and how much gear? Is it different for kids than it would be for training with adults?
Yeah, initially when you're really, really in startup stage, your first few months, you're thinking, well, what can I afford?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a lot of money to start a business most of the times. And so we bought Canon, when we're still using them for the kids, Canon 650Ds, tripods, Rode video mic on the top. And it still works really, really well for the younger kids. It's really good because it teaches them the camera won't do all the work. The cameras, you've got to make sure, there's auto tracking on them, absolutely awful. They've got to make sure their focus is locked in and they set the cameras up correctly. And then we give them like Osmo pockets, do like roaming cameras with a gimbal on.
Yep.
So they can kind of, when they want to move the camera around, they got something nice to play with.
Yep.
But in the early days, it was a room, 3 meters square. We decorated it with wallpaper from the DIY store. Yep. We put a table, 2 chairs, a camera and a tripod, and that was how it started. And then we just kept building that up. We're improving our microphones. We improved. The biggest thing we struggled with, everyone does and overlooks, is audio. Always. And so, we just bought the cheapest Rode. No, actually, we had a few video mic pros at the beginning, but the truth is we couldn't afford one for every camera, so we got the cheaper ones. Had a bit of an echoey space, so we worked on soundproofing or some sound treatment. Improved the microphones, learnt to get them closer, got our settings better, and we just worked with the children day in, day out, at working out what they needed, how they used the space. They're kids. You don't give an 8-year-old a £2,500 camera that they could break and drop. They will break and they will drop them. And so we've gone through a few cameras and a few accessories and things.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's almost funny. I feel like your set challenge is something that we certainly in the Ecam fam could actually all put into practice, or like maybe force ourselves to think that way. I think we're also good at being like, what's the like, the most expensive or like top of the line quality camera, quality microphone. But if you're thinking about it from from the perspective of, it's going to be in front of a kid, that makes it,
think about it differently.
Yeah, you think about it differently, but they're still able to create some really impressive and amazing content, and sort of that limitation probably makes it even better in some ways, or changes, I guess, your perspective on how you're setting things up. It forces you to think a little bit differently about your space, which is neat.
Yeah, they have to think about the lighting a lot more. You have to think about their audio setup.
Yep.
The kit isn't going to do all the work, and it really makes them learn those skills. And so, when they get their hands on higher end kit, they'll make a slightly better quality video, but they'll have the basis in which to use that. If you start there, they're not going to learn as much.
Absolutely. I'm seeing everyone's smiling faces coming into the comments. I didn't line them up here. We have Jared here. Hey, we have Simple Tech Review from Little Rock. Woohoo!
Hello.
Mr. ALX, David's in the house. We have Louise. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you have any questions for Nick, you're more than welcome to drop them in the chat. I'm happy to work our way through them as we go.
Nice.
I love the idea kind of as you got bigger and you were thinking about space differently. So bus, A bus.
Yeah, we had to think about that space very differently.
Absolutely. I mean, for the top of my head, I can just imagine obviously much tighter spaces, which changes
Yep.
how you are approaching positioning of cameras. Lighting is likely going to be really difficult. And then internet and how you're thinking about, going live and where the different places are. How did you get started? And did you have a plan for where you thought the bus was going? And did that affect how you approached kind of building it out initially?
I didn't really plan it out, if I'm honest.
You're like, bus, let's do this.
Like,
I love it.
For sale, let's buy it.
That's great,
We'll work the rest out later.
Yeah.
So, that is actually the truth. And so it was, you were just sort of coming out of lockdown, and I'd been learning Ecam at home. So I built this space that I'm in now at home. This is our spare bedroom. And I built this and really learned Ecam. And I thought, and I was just juggling a lot of things. It's lockdown, and we built a whole kind of e-learning platform for our members, and I built our own community. And I was just looking for projects, and I saw the bus, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy the bus and we're going to do it. And so it's a standard 32-seater bus that does the runs for the children and around the town. And the poor guy that I bought it off, he had loads of them, and they were all sat there for 18 months.
You
and
made
he said
his
none
day.
of them's gone on a trip. And he's like, I gotta pick of my buses. So we picked one. I took it back. I spoke to a couple of guys that I know that could do the refit. They've been absolutely amazing. And they ripped it all out. Got an interior designer to come up with some crazy ideas. And yeah, you'll see if you got the videos and pictures in a bit, people can see what we did with it. It's a bit out there. It's we researched what other people were doing, and there's lots of people who've made gaming buses, but they essentially screw an Xbox and a TV, board out the inside, screw an Xbox and a TV, and get as many kids in there as you can. And I thought, that's not what I'm about. We wanted to really make the whole thing an experience. When you come to Tubers Academy, everything's about the whole experience. Children only get a couple of hours a week, and it has to be absolutely amazing. And so we had to replicate what we did in real life in this steel tube on wheels. And so it's a real challenge. But we managed to get three Mac Minis, so 3 editing computers to teach kids Final Cut Pro, 3 high-spec gaming PCs, an Xbox, and a full green screen and Ecamm multicam studio, all in the bus. So it's a bit crazy.
I absolutely love it. So what are the kids creating with that Ecamm multicam studio? What kind of content are they working on, or what have you seen?
So a lot of it will be training. This bus is literally only just finished a few weeks ago. It's only been to one event. It went to the local Comic-Con and gaming event.
Oh, fun.
In the city, and the nerves were high because we weren't sure what was going to work and what was not going to work. And it was absolutely seamless. Ecamm was solid all the way through, the PCs, the Macs. It was solid. The kids absolutely loved Ecamm. So they basically, because it's an event, we did about 250 children went through the bus in 2 days. And so they basically got about 10 minutes on each station. So it was an introduction on that day. So we just set up the stream deck, we set up some scenes, and we play a lot of games. The children like challenge videos. So what we did is we played the stock image challenge, and we put the video on a timer, and the video plays and it counts down. They get 5 seconds. It's like there'll be someone like getting the right shot. There's just someone there's a big red dot in front of it, and they got 5 seconds to guess what it is. And then it'll disappear, and it'll be a hamster or a lettuce or something. And it's kind of just a silly game to play with the kids. Yeah. But they can lay it all out, and they can move the camera around as we do, and they can type their name in. And they just had a bit of fun and a basic introduction to what we class as call it a wired studio instead of the DSLR. It's their first experience of ever seeing it. Even our members we don't have a setup like this in the actual academy itself yet. They're still all DSLR. But yeah, they came in and made fun challenge videos. But when we go around the schools, we've got a whole curriculum, and so we're going to include Ecamm into our curriculum. It'll be a whole brand new module teaching them how to use a switcher and the software. And we'll be going to schools and events and other things like Comic-Con and teaching them how to use it. Yeah.
That's awesome. The other day I was working on building out scenes in Ecamm for a personal project that I was working on, and my daughter was sitting next to me, and she was like, she's like, you want to move it over there, and you want to do. So I mean, she's 7, and she was like, will this be on YouTube? This looks really good for YouTube.
Bless.
So it is amazing to see what kind of the creativity and none of the fear and kind of anxiety and overthinking and perfectionism that exists in all of us as adults. So I think it'll be really neat to kind of hear as you get more into it what some of the learnings have been there. Absolutely.
That's really interesting because to identify that, because when you're dealing with the 7 to, I would say, 12-year-olds, it's not there. It's just like, I'm on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm making a video. What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Yeah. And then they do the outro. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's so funny. But once they hit like 13, 14, they're secondary school, and they're a little bit more conscientious about what sort of thing they're about to put on the internet, whether they want to be on camera or not.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess what were the things that they were most excited about? Is it the idea of green screen? Were there particular like features and things that were most intriguing to different age groups?
Playing with the scenes was absolutely brilliant in terms of Ecamm. Playing with the scenes, and that they didn't have to do this in post-production, that they're doing it live, kind of blew their mind a little bit. They can just sort of press the button, and 1 minute it's the game, then it's me in the corner, or I can turn it on and off, or I can put myself full screen. Traditionally, that was, in the studio, we'd do that in post-production. We'd put 2 or 3 cameras on, and we'd record something on the screen. If we're playing the game, then we'd take it all into Final Cut Pro and layer it all up, and it'd take ages, and they're like, wow, we pretty much edited our video whilst recording it. So they absolutely loved that. Green screen blows them away. These kids just love green screens.
Yeah, my kids think it's the absolute best thing, especially if you can. Mine are obsessed with Harry Potter, so if you can put like the Hogwarts castle behind them or some kind of Harry Potter anything, they're all in. They're 100% in. They think it's the greatest thing ever. They've run off to get costumes. They're going to be gone for a while. Yeah, absolutely. A green screen is always a lot of fun. Yeah, right? Yeah, you need costumes. You need a full. Younger kids. Maybe not for the teenagers, but for the younger kids, for sure. Yeah, So certainly some of the challenges as we're thinking about how you structure the bus, are kids or adults live streaming from within the bus, or are you driving and then kind of pulling out your setup from the bus back in? Like, walk us through kind of what the experience is like in that space. Is it all kind of like nailed down permanently, you're in that space, or is it more of like we're on the move and we're kind of building live streaming stations as we go?
No, inside the bus, everything's fixed. All the cameras are screwed down, microphones screwed down. So awesome. I've got a directional shotgun mic in this setup, so they haven't got anything in front of them to play with. It's got a massive 34-inch, I think it is, widescreen, so they can get all the sections of Ecamm out, and they can lay it all out without having to have a multi-screen. A couple of Elgato. I forgot what they're called. The light ones, is it? I put on there, the smaller ones.
Oh, key lights. Yeah. Yep. The key lights. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I bought those ones because we have much bigger ones.
Yeah, they have the mini ones now too. Have you seen those ones?
I have the
normal
ones. The mini ones. Yeah, but they were really, really good. Really, I couldn't get the Wi-Fi thing to work, but they worked. They went white. We had to set them up the day before the show. So
gotta figure it out fast.
Yeah, we did. So it's completely static. They will sit there, they'll choose their background, and they will learn how to use the software. But when we go around to the schools, we'll definitely be we're going around all schools, but we'll have quite a focus on additional needs schools.
Sure.
What I'm really hoping is that we can have a regular setup with schools. So we're at a certain school every week or every 2 weeks, and they start to do their own news broadcast about the school. So they can start to say, what's happening in the school, what events are coming up, sports day, change the backgrounds, do their kind of sports review, over to you, switch across to the other person. I think they'll absolutely love it. In terms of internet, we've got a Starlink. I haven't tested it yet, and I don't know how it's going to be mobile, but we've got a backup 4G box as well. But I know Starlink says it's only set for the location in which you book it at the minute, and like roaming is coming, but town's quite small compared to where the satellite is. I'm kind of hoping I can move around a little bit.
Stay in the town, you'll be fine.
I'm hoping so. I'm actually testing it this week. We're going to a school to do a recce tomorrow, and then we're set up on a school on the 15th, so we'll do a full day and take the Starlink and see how it works. Yeah,
That'll be awesome.
I've kitted the whole thing out so that everything works. Obviously not live streaming, but everything works without Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the other side of it. I mean, if you're just walking through kind of the process of setting up a live show or creating a show, you could certainly just do a recorded video and be able for them to at least understand what the process would be. Yeah. Actually, how do you approach that? So when it comes to kids live streaming, there's definitely on YouTube and even on some of the other platforms, a lot of restrictions and limitations on how kids are able to have accounts or connect to accounts or what is content for children. Are you giving them a place to stream to? Are you working with like their schools to be able to stream to school accounts, or are they actually setting up their own YouTube channels?
So no one under 13 gets access to their own channels at the Academy. So we have a location channel. So one for Exeter, one for Torquay. And awesome. Then so they can stream to that. We don't do a lot of streaming in the Academy at the minute. They'll tend to want to get it into post-production. So the kids by default want to control the image a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And so can I cut that out? Did I say the right thing? So they want to do more post-production. But yeah, we do have a channel they can stream to. We're thinking if the schools are happy and they have their own channel and we can get permissions from the parents, then we'll stream straight to their channels. But no, the kids won't. The kids never get to stream to their own channels. So it's just trying to keep them safe and make sure that the content they put out there we can control it as well that way as well. So if it's a school or if it's us, and 6 months down the line a child says, do you know what, I don't like that up there anymore, can you remove it? We've got full control over it. We've got control over the comments. If there's any issues that way, we can quickly delete and ban. Where if we haven't got access to that channel and child's lost the login details or whatever it might be, or they struggle, they do it all the time. They have their own channels, but they're just not allowed to access them at Tubus because we can't control that.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. There's certainly a lot of like nuance and challenges that I'm sure that pop up just in the world of trying to work with children, but certainly when it comes to children and video. That would just be an interesting thing to think through. I think that's a good approach, being able to kind of give them the access to see what they can do, but do a lot of work in post-production as well, I think is smart. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Working so far. Yeah, we had a few issues with live streaming in the past as well, with lots of children that get a bit boisterous sometimes and get a bit excited, and sometimes it's better to go into post certainly with the younger ones.
you need the like giant button that like blurts out like whatever they say, so you can cut it out if you're live. Yeah, exactly. The big sound effect that can go over their voices. Hi Gretchen. Hi DJ ROB. Woo! I love it. Oh, awesome to be able to see everyone hanging out with us today. I should have queued up. I totally failed. I should have queued up a video and I don't have one. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's one here on my folder or one of the images that you had sent over.
Yeah, they need to see the inside as well, don't they?
I know.
It's difficult to explain.
I know. I failed. Well, while I'm doing that, I will grab here to see if I can grab one of the images. If not, I definitely have the links within the...
we were just looking for sort of a unique experience, really, when you see the LEDs and the curves and the stations that we put in. We just wanted, certainly with children with additional needs, they need their own sort of defined space to sit in most of the time. But also when you're recording a video or you're doing a game, you kind of want it just to have your own little section and be focused on it. So we came up with that design that you'll see. Worked really well.
Here's one here. Just download it.
Doc Rock says, not failed, learned.
Not failed, learned. I know. Doc is much more patient with me. do. That's what happens when I have like way too many windows all open at the same time. Way too many windows open.
We're doing a full documentary on it as well. We've been filming it since the minute we bought it and drove it into the yard.
That
And
is
we've done
so
a full
cool.
documentary. It's like ending up being like a 25-minute document. It's like a little short film. With just every little part of it. So interviewing the chippies that did all the work, and the sign writers that did the graphics, and the spray painters that sprayed it all, and the interior design, all of it. So yeah, I'll post it up when it's done. It'll be a few weeks, but
That'll be
yeah, it's a
awesome.
proper full documentary. It's going to be good.
I love it. Here is the before and after for everyone to see, which I think is just crazy. I think what makes it like super, super fun is being able to see like all of the lights and color that goes into it. But I'm sure that probably makes it so difficult when you're just live streaming. So I imagine that you're able to like turn off or control some of these red lights or change colors and everything that they're doing there.
Yeah, it's all remote controlled. You can put it on slow fades in and out. You can just put it on white. You can put it on coloured. But when the green screen in the studio is right at the back there, so it doesn't affect it because you put the two big key lights in front, and it just kind of almost washes it all out. So you don't see any of the tinted colour. It works quite well.
That is so neat here. And then there's this one here that is the almost this one that's the outside of the bus as well, which it's pretty big. It's a bit like, it's a good size. It's not like a school bus here in the United States anyway. This is a luxury bus, all the way fully loaded.
Just over 9 meters long. And yeah, it's good fun. I've been driving it.
Did you have to get a special license to be able to drive it?
Do you know what? No, I can. It's an age thing. It's a bit weird. It's probably not the same everywhere. But if you passed your license before 1997, it automatically you can drive a 7.5 ton truck in England, and that's under 7.5 ton. And I'm not carrying more than 16 people. So being that I've never driven it before, it's totally legal. I can just jump in it and drive it. And luckily, it wasn't too difficult.
See, I feel like I would be fine if I was just like on the main like roadway, but trying to like back it up, park it, turn it, any of that kind of stuff, I would fail at horribly. I'd be like, it's a little dangerous, especially if there were children anywhere near or on board. But I suppose you're driving out to places and then kids are meeting you in those spots, so you're not bringing kids with you for the most part.
No, they don't go on it, but I did have to reverse it into Comic-Con. Backwards round the stands and find the perfect. Literally, they were like, "That's your spot. We've measured your bus. It's got to fit exactly there between these two fire escapes." And so everyone's watching. I had to reverse it in, but it went well. It was okay.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy. This is a great question. How are you funded?
Just by working really hard.
Enthusiasm. This project is funded by enthusiasm.
We haven't taken any funding at all in 5 years. We've opened our doors.
That's incredible.
Honestly, we launched our first academy with a PayPal button, and I put it up, and I said, look, you need to pay for the first month so we could open. And we launched a button and said how many people want to pay. And I think at the time it was about 35 quid. I don't know what that is in dollars. About 35 pounds, and about 90 people, I think 85, 90 people signed up straight away. And that's how we've run the entire business from day one. Is we haven't gone and borrowed loads and loads of money. We haven't taken any funding at all. We've run the business, and when there's some spare cash, we bought a new computer. When there's some spare cash, we might add a console or something, or we might redecorate or redo a studio. And so that's how we've run it. So for 5 years, that's what we've worked on. I get that question all the time. Where's the money come from? Who's paid for it? We earned it. The truth is it's quite simple. We worked hard every day to earn the money to build it. And so, yeah, that's what we did.
All right. Since everyone here is going to want to know, so walk us through what is included in your Ecamm setup on the bus. So what computer are you using? What are your cameras and microphones specific in the Ecamm space?
I've got Mac Mini M1 16 gig. 35 pounds is
it's $46. I was going to say Doc is definitely going to answer that question.
My camera the cameras that I put in is the same one that I'm using now, which I found quite good. It might be a bit different because I'm on your show, but when I do my own show, it's super crisp, and it's an A5-100. So I don't know how it looks to you now.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
So it look good.
Yeah.
So A5-100, but the Sigma 16mm on them. And
everyone's favorite lens. Yep, that's what I'm using
Yeah.
too. The lens, not the camera, but
Yeah.
close enough.
So I keep thinking about, do I need it? And is it that little bit extra? Is it worth the extra £1,000, £1,500? Just that tiny little bit of extra crispness. It looks good as far as I'm concerned. And on the green screen in the studio, it looks absolutely great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And in terms of microphone, I have set up just a Rode shotgun mic. I've forgotten what it's called. I've had it for ages. I've probably had it 3 or 4 years, longer.
It's a pop quiz. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's it called? I'll Google it while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
NGT2. It's an
Oh, there you
NGT2.
go, yeah.
That's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have we got? We've got the Stream Deck Mini and yeah, the Elgato lights, and that's it. That's all they're running for. I've kept it super, super simple. The cameras will stay in exactly the same place all the time. The lights are fixed. The cameras are fixed. The microphone's fixed. Nothing moves at all. So yeah, super, super sort of simple, slick setup. I keep seeing a lot of setups. My setup's so simple at home. I see a lot of setups. I'm like, wow, you might be making this really hard. I don't think it's
like, I'm working with kids and I'm having no problem with this easier setup. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you got all these guys, massive big lights and cameras everywhere, and I see wires everywhere. I don't like to see wires. I never see any wires in my setups. They're all gone.
Oh my goodness. God bless you for pulling that off. I feel like here in this office space, we're pretty good, but in the other office we have, there are a lot of wires all over the place.
Every single wire is drilled, poked through the wood, hidden, cabled. You won't see a single wire.
I mean, that is kind of the benefit.
Minimal.
Yeah, the benefit of being in a space like a bus actually is that you're sort of forced to do that. It wouldn't work if you had wires kind of duct taped or like running along the bottom. I mean, it would look terrible, and it would be certainly a safety hazard to some reason, right? So.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with children, you just put your different head on, don't you?
Yeah.
You've got to think that every single wire is a hazard. Everything, the plug socket's a hazard.
They're going to knock everything over. You've got to
what can they knock over? Screw it down.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, don't even give them a space to put a drink down or anything. You've got to work it all out. And, you do think differently.
Yeah, I'm sure. Do you have big signs on the door that say no food and drinks allowed in this safe space? This is a food and drink free space. Oh my goodness, I love it. Yeah. All of the A whatever series Sony cameras. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so we're in the
same. The rest is more creature comfort's good. I'm happy. Yeah. Honestly, I know they're quite hard to get hold of, the A5100s, because they stop production.
Yeah.
But when you can get them, you can get for like £200.
It is awesome. I mean, you could do a lot with a little. We're doing a broadcast later today. Jill and I from the test studio here are going to be talking all about how you can use literally your phone as a camera. And I was doing some tests earlier, and I'm on a cheaper phone. I'm on the iPhone SE, the newer but not the newest coming soon iPhone SE. So it's not even like the top quality by any means as far as camera goes, and the quality is great. I mean, for what most people are doing. So it's pretty amazing, I think, what you're doing and teaching, kids what the opportunity is and how to think through approaching video is going to make such a huge difference as we think about what the next generation are going to be able to do with video. We've all been kind of learning as we go and growing as we go, and the expectations are so high, and the knowledge base is so spans from like people who never touched it all the way through to people who are really at a high level of proficiency with it. But kids right now are going to grow up with that just being expected. There's everyone is on YouTube. Everyone is involved in video creation in some way. So it'll be interesting to see.
Just a part of their lives now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're like the last generation that did the crossover and sort of grew up without the technology, but then live our lives every day with it.
Yep.
But my son's 10 years old. He's got iPhone 12 mini. He makes videos where he texts his friends and stuff. And yeah, but they're also aware. They're quite conscious of their the type of content that they make, what is good, what is not. He knows whether he wants that to be published or whether he wants it edited or not. They're almost like these little mini.
They probably have a better eye for it than we do.
Yeah,
exactly. They're
controlling their own image.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Hey, they're going to need to. All of us parents have put out horrifying photos of them. I'm sure they're going to be super angry with us. Yeah. No, it is amazing. It will be really interesting to see how they approach it and all the different So how many in your world are looking to do like gaming live streaming or esports versus like shows and, other kinds of kind of video projects? Do you have an understanding of kind of what the split is in interest?
Really highly male in terms of our membership. So for every 100 children that we have on our membership, we can probably say, it's a good 80% boys, 20% girls.
Girls.
I know. And then out of that, they all have a basic introduction. So they all do some challenge stuff in the studio. So we'll all have a go at gaming videos, and they all have the basic learning. We have a whole curriculum and everything. And then when they get their own time, it's very heavily boys towards gaming videos, girls towards studio. Very heavily.
Interesting.
Girls going to the creative side.
Storytelling,
going into studio. Storytelling. And chatter, and doing their intros and showing off and unboxing things. And then the boys do too, but they're very heavily leaning towards making Fortnite videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing. They love it. So so you give them all the camera skills in the world, and you teach them everything they need to know about managing a studio, and then they go and put a webcam on and make a Fortnite video on OBS. Okay.
I believe it. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's gonna be, it'll be really exciting to see the kinds of stuff that they're creating. It's been fun as a parent watching the things that they have a level of interest in.
And they just emulate. It's no different. The generation after generation, they emulate what they consume, don't they? Whatever you watch, whatever you listen, as a child, you think, I can do that. I want to have a little go at that. And we see the trends. We see what's happening on TikTok, and we see what's happening on YouTube, and we see the kids come in and try and film it. It's funny. You're like, we do watch this stuff. We know what it is. You shouldn't be on TikTok. You're 9 years old.
I know, right? I know. Have you noticed kind of with the rise of TikTok and vertical video and short video, have there been an interest in, or a lot of kids asking questions about how to create videos like that, where they may not necessarily have the same kind of approach to a studio, like they're looking for that kind of phone, kind of vertical video content?
Maybe the older ones. The older ones knowing where the content is going to end up, but not the younger ones. The younger ones are all YouTube, really. They talk about TikTok a little bit, but the truth of it is most of them haven't got accounts. It's just repeating what they've heard. They actually consume content on YouTube, and so they're just thinking normal 16 by 9 standard video format. But I think once they get to teenagers and they're controlling their image a little bit more, and they're moving to Snapchat or TikTok, then they start to kind of want to set up a little ring light and do a portrait, set up on a little stand and put it in the studio, and so get a higher quality because they've got the lights and they've got the environment and they've got the support, or someone to do it with. That's when they start to think about the portrait stuff and the short and the maybe a little skit or a makeup tutorial or something. More at that sort of age, but not at the sort of 7 to 12-year-olds. They're not really in that space yet, I don't think. Not from our experience. Yeah,
that makes sense. Doc says that the female directors can hire the video game boys to move boxes in their film sets. It's true.
Jobs for everyone.
Jobs for everyone.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Well, Nick,
so much fun.
I appreciate your time. Is there anything else that folks should know more about? As I said, we'll drop links in so that they can check out the video clips that you sent along. Brilliant. As well as, if you want to follow up and let us know when longer videos or documentary, we'd love to hear an update on how everything's going. But anything we missed covering today that you want to let people know about?
No, that's all good. Yeah, just have a chat about the bus and what we do. It's fine. Yeah, it's been interesting to come on. I really enjoyed it. It's good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for everyone for hanging out with us. I always make me smile. Gretchen says, I could drive. I don't know. You haven't seen my driving skills, Gretchen. I may not be able to impress you so much. I have the RV dreams, but I feel like I'd need a driver to help me out with those RV dreams. I want to be like in the back playing video games. Or
you get used to it quite quick. It's not too bad. Just don't take the corners too sharp.
Exactly. Just drive slow and steady. I worked in publishing for years, and one of the years that I was there, we did similar to you. We bought an older library school bus, that we converted into a bookmobile and we took it across the country to all these different like book fairs and various shows and exhibitions and things to as kind of a gimmick and to sell books out of it, and trying to drive that slowly with like books on the shelf in the books. And I had someone there helping me, so I wasn't even by myself. And I was like, we are going to die in this bookmobile in the middle of nowhere, United States, trying to get around. So I totally
Brilliant.
appreciate your challenge, but it was a lot of fun, and being able to kind of have something that is eye-catching and stands out from the crowd. I think it's going to be a really great way to be able to reach more kids, and I love what you're doing and the creativity behind it. It's so important. So thank you for sharing it with us.
No worries, thank you. It's been a fun ride. I mean the pun. But, yeah. But building tubers, but there you go. Yeah, all good. Yeah, and so be interested in how it's received when we get on the road. This is literally starting this week.
Definitely. Well, hopefully you'll keep us posted and you'll post updates into the community. And if you see Nick there, definitely throw him a thumbs up and let him know what you think and how things are going. But thanks for joining us today. Thanks everyone for watching with us. We will be back again at 4:00 Eastern here for Live from the Test Studio. We're talking all about how to use your phone as a camera. So if you want to learn more about that and about the different options that you have there, join us again at 4. And again, tomorrow, version 3.10 of Ecamm Live is dropping, with it some amazing and exciting features and a huge fun celebration here on YouTube at 1 p.m. So hopefully everyone will be able to join us. If you're around, we're giving away some prizes and hanging out. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, Nick, and we'll see everyone else tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.